Thanks, Megan and Jeremy. We have an update on how Iowa football head coach Kirk Ferentz is feeling about their second game of the season in just a bit.
But first, we hit the beach.
Absolutely. Labor Day weekend usually lends itself to journeys home and some much-needed rest and relaxation.
And for the Iowa women's volleyball team, they took advantage of the extra days and headed way down south to show some Hawkeye spirit.
I got the chance to talk to the girls on their weekend getaway. Check it out. Over the long 4-day weekend, Iowa volleyball traveled over 4,000 miles down to Honolulu, Hawaii for the Hawaiian Airlines Wahine Volleyball Classic. But for setter Loxley Keala, it was more than just a trip to a tournament, it was a homecoming.
As soon as we got off the airplane, actually, my parents and our family friends, they came and gave lace to everyone and kind of like welcomed us to the island. And I think that's definitely something that makes Hawaii unique. It's just our aloha spirit. And, you know, even if you don't know the person and they're a complete stranger, you know, they're kind of your ohana in that sense.
Not only did they play volleyball, the team took time to see Pearl Harbor, volunteer at a local school, and do life as Keala normally does.
And it was just really great for the team to kind of experience what, you know, essentially I experience every day.
Which was at her beach house on the North Shore, a definite team favorite.
My favorite part of the weekend was going to Loxley's beach house. Her family cooked us all this Hawaiian dinner and we just got to go to the beach and it was really, really fun.
Though they only came out of the tournament with a single win against American, the experience was well worth it in the minds of the coaches and players.
We got to play against Hawaii in front of a huge crowd, almost 7,000 people there at their arena, and you get those moments, and that's where you really get your mettle tested.
So I've been going to Hawaii matches since I was probably 6 years old and just always idolizing the volleyball players, and it was just amazing to play in that arena. That I've been, you know, watching from the stands ever since I was a little girl, and that it just is incredible to me, like, to be able to play at that level and to be able to play against Hawaii.
As they continue through the season, the team knows the bonding from this trip will only help them be a more cohesive unit. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hannah Thompson, Daily Iowan TV Sports. The volleyball team finally brings the game back to Iowa City as they take on Iowa State this Friday in the Cy-Hawk Series and Texas A&M on Saturday.
Now, the Cy-Hawk Series this weekend, Hannah, is obviously something to look out for, not only for the volleyball team, though. The Iowa women's soccer team will host Iowa State on Friday night as well, and Iowa football will head to Ames on Saturday to try and get revenge on Iowa State from the upset last year.
Now, if you remember, Taylor, last year's football game against Iowa and Iowa State, it was a 20-17 upset by just a field goal.
And it was here in Iowa City. Kinnick Stadium was absolutely crazy. I was there for that game. But, you know, this year is a new team, and we caught up with head coach Kirk Ferentz today and how he is so connected to the Cy-Hawk series.
My 26th game involved in this series, and you know, maybe somebody's got that one topped. I'm not sure, but I imagine it's pretty high on the list. And what I can tell you is I just fully understand and appreciate what this series is all about. It's been a great series through the years.
Now, aside from a game, there was quite a different atmosphere in Coach Kirk Ferentz's presser as former Hawkeye tight end Tyler Sash passed away on September 10th. Coach Ferentz took time to go through some of his memories with Tyler.
Yeah, he certainly was a special young man in our program, had a great career here. Was extremely competitive, you know, just a high energy player and did a lot of great things. And you could talk about a lot of things that Tyler did here. But it's kind of interesting as I think about him. You know, my first exposure to Tyler was actually at a Little League basketball game. I think it was in Signary. And I can't tell you what grade he was in, but it was a youth league basketball game. Tyler's team beat him 40-36 that day, and I remember coming home and telling our staff, saw a kid that scored 36 of 40 points that day, single-handedly beat you know, James's team. So that was my first exposure to him. I remember calling him. He's on his way back from the state track meet his junior year, and that's when we offered him a scholarship, and you know, we had a great, certainly great time with him after that.
Now, it wasn't just sadness that was all over Iowa's campus yesterday. It was all over the state of Iowa. And Iowa State did reach out to the University of Iowa about the game this weekend, and they're thinking of some type of tribute that will happen that day. But switching gears a little bit, we head from the football turf to the baseball turf, and it was a season to remember last year for the Iowa baseball team.
That's right, Taylor, and it was an open book as to how the season would end.
And unfortunately for us, the games were still going on when we were done with school, so we couldn't cover all the way because they went into the season. Obviously great for them, but Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Zach Mackey caught up with head coach Rick Heller and looked back at the 2015 season.
What a ride Coach Rick Heller and the 2015 Iowa baseball team put Hawkeye fans through last season. A season that will go down as one of the best in Hawkeye baseball's existence. It was a year that put smiles on the faces of many Iowa baseball fans and converted a few new ones along the way. A season where the Hawkeyes returned to relevancy on the national stage, earning their first national ranking since the 1990 season.
To a regional tournament and win 2 games, against a known power. To lose the 2 games that we lost by a total of only 3 runs, and to be so close to playing in a super regional, it just makes me look back and smile at what those kids were able to do and their commitment and focus leading into the season, not only during the season, but the hard work that they put in that allowed them to have the kind of year that they had, the leadership, the unselfishness.
Looking back at the season, Heller says their focus and ability to go out over the course of a long season and play great day in and day out and win every series except the last one was remarkable. The consistency is what impressed me most. While the Hawkeyes won on the field, they also won in the MLB draft, having 5 players drafted to continue their baseball careers. The Hawks boasted 41 wins, an NCAA regional finals berth, and a second-place finish in the Big Ten Conference.
We still have a lot of room to grow. There's no question about it. I mean, this was an amazing year, and things really lined up for us. But we've got a lot of work to do, and we know that, and we're gonna set out to do the work.
Zach Mackey for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And Zach will have more baseball for us in the near future as the Hawks started their fall practice on September 6th, and they have a couple fall ball games coming up on their schedule.
And that does it here for us in the sports studio on this Wednesday night. But check us out for pregame as we bring that back on Thursday night.
Guys, back to you at the desk.